Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon Wone, Pickups.
Hey, this is me, Todd Novak. We are super excited that you are hanging out with us for our little show, the Guitar Knobs Podcast. What do we do on this show, Tony?
We get to talk to people that are like boutique builders, if you will.
Yeah.
Guitar makers.
Yep.
Pedal makers.
Them too.
Amp makers.
Yep.
Pedal board makers.
Pedal board. Yep.
Pickup winders.
Sometimes we do fun 101 episodes as well and talk about general things.
That's true.
But our major focus is on the boutique builder that maybe some people know, some people may not know.
I think we're the only ones out there doing it.
But after they listen to the podcast, they will certainly be more educated.
That's right. And speaking of that, we've got somebody very special on the line today.
Hey, this is Nick Frank from Frank Brothers Guitar Company.
That's your cue, too.
Where's the other one?
Nick? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Did you get shy, Tom?
All right, I'll go first. This is Tim Frank from Frank Brothers Guitar Company.
All right.
Never gets old, does it?
On behalf of Tim, my silent partner.
Right.
We lost Nick.
So yes, this is the Frank Brothers guitars that we've got on the show today. We're very excited to talk to them. No doubt you've seen them probably mostly on Instagram, I would suppose. Pretty active there. That's where I found them. Shocker. So we're going to get into what is all about their mode of design and what they're all about in just a little bit. But for those of you who are listening the first time, welcome. Maybe you've come in through Spotify. If you haven't, maybe you should come through Spotify if you haven't given that a shot, because now, guess what? We're on Spotify. Woo! Yeah, so you can search for the Guitar Knobs on Spotify and stream us right after you listen to the newest, latest garbage pop out there. Yep. Editorial. So, yeah, so check us out there. And then also, for the format of the show, like Tony mentioned, we're really interested in the stories behind boutique builders, what motivates them to do their thing, and why they've hit our radar. Join us for the rest of the show. And I think we also have a little announcement at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. Gentlemen, what is going on in our music world this week? Tony.
Well, this week...
Tony's got a little bit of a recuperating from a cold or something.
I'm
yeah?
not sure what it is.
Lack of bourbon?
I think that's what it is. I honestly think that's what it is.
It might be.
But anyhow, this week I have been putting together I had this body that I picked up on Closeout.
Oh, okay, good. That could have gone really awry there. I don't know.
There was this body in my house.
How much was it?
I got a good deal on it. It's a very yellowed finish, almost lemonade yellow. It's a white body with black binding.
It's beautiful.
It's so yellowed. And it's been sitting in my shop, and I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with it. So finally, Jared had provided me with a couple of pickups, and I said, I'm gonna make a 72 style Tele Custom out of it.
Good thing I wasn't asking for one of those a little while ago.
You wanted black.
Yeah, I would have gone for white, but
yeah, well, you can buy mine when I'm done
this thing's gonna look so cool.
But so anyhow, it's this really yellowed out white finish with black binding around it.
That's cool.
And just to take it a step further, I'm in the process of ordering a one-piece maple neck with black block inlays. So it's kind of play off the black binding. It's gonna look cooler than heck.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
So that's what I've been doing. So today I routed out it was routed as a standard Telecaster.
Are you gonna do a flat black guard?
I could do that, but I was actually going to do a 5-ply guard, black, white, black, white, black.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I make pick guards, so it's like...
You can make as many as you want.
I imagine that a flat black pick guard would actually look pretty awesome after a lot of use.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you're going to see wear come up pretty quick.
Where
you wear it.
Where?
Where you wear
Cool.
it to it.
All right.
So that's what I'm doing. So today I also, if you go to Instagram, I posted up a couple of photos of the befores
You got some
and
props on
afters.
your routing too.
Yeah, how about that? That's sharp router bits go a long way, I guess.
I would hope so.
Let's bring in one of the Nick brothers.
The Nick brothers.
How about the Nick of the Franks?
That's what I call us. Well, we've had a pretty busy summer, but we are in the middle of planning a gear geek gathering, as we've dubbed it. It's going to be a little hangout in our shop, and we're inviting guitar lovers, gear enthusiasts, like nerds like us,
Oh, wow. That's
to come hang out in the shop, have a beer, play some Frank Brothers guitars, chat with other musicians, sort of do a little community thing in the guitar community.
Cool.
So we're pretty stoked about that.
Is that going to be up is that in Toronto or?
It is. If you guys are looking to plan a trip to Toronto, might be a good occasion.
That little shop kind of open house that you're talking about is something that we've encountered quite often as of late, and I love that idea. I think it's a fantastic idea, a great way to gather local community, do outreach to people who might even be just out of like normal driving range to get them to come to something cool and hang out with other builders and cool enthusiasts. I totally support that.
Yeah, make sure you post some information on that on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
we will for sure.
Yeah, on our group page.
And who knows? Maybe we can even make that's what.
When is that? When are you doing that?
We're probably going to be doing it closer to the end of the summer.
Okay.
Or in September.
Oh, okay. Well, we will keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Right on. Should be fun.
Tony, I don't think they actually officially invited us. We just invited.
No, I distinctly
okay.
remember him saying,
he
you can
did?
come.
Okay.
Well, I think he was talking to me.
Yeah, only Tony.
Yeah. Jared, what's
I'm
going on?
giving them a +1.
Jared, what's going on in your music world this week?
Okay, so
Wow, that sounds dreadful.
thank you very much. I made a detour through Cleveland on Monday.
Hello, Cleveland.
That's right. I love Cleveland. And then I was picking up some new equipment for my shop, and I stopped at a guitar shop that I usually stop at all the time. Then I do businesses, blah, blah, blah. And they had a guitar there that I had been looking to have for a very long time that has never been affordable for me. I could never acquire something like this. My friend had this thing at the right price, and I usually don't sell equipment to buy to buy more equipment like most everybody does. But in this case, I'm going to, and
So you haven't bought it yet?
I committed to buy it, and I'm probably going to put some cash down either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
Just for goodwill, saying, "Hey, look,
And then
see, I'm
next
buying
episode, you're going to tell us what that is.
It."
Don't tell us what it is now, because
That's a good idea.
Yes.
All right.
Just in case.
That's exciting.
I mean, it's a done deal. Hands were
Well,
shook.
no, you still have the money.
Sold sign was put on it.
That's
We're very good
Hey,
friends. It's done.
still no money. Done ain't done till the money's in the hand, my man. You know that.
$100 walks in the door. That guitar is gone.
Don't listen to Todd. It is a done deal.
Yes. I trust that because you're a nice gentleman about business.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
So, Todd.
Yes, sir.
What's been going on in your week?
Yeah.
Oh man, I've had a heck of a week. I've had so much of a week. I can't do it all in this one. I'm gonna save some for next week. And it's like I couldn't believe it. It was like Christmas and birthday all wrapped up in one. It was amazing. And maybe even if I had a quinceañera or something.
Is that like a Christmas birthday?
Christmas birthday. So to start things off, in our studio, I finally got my Jazzcaster, and it is outstanding.
Is that what you're calling it now?
Is that? I don't know. Yes, I guess so. It's a Jazzcaster, whatever. But it's a Chasing Vintage Fullerton series Jazzcaster. Okay.
With a Pickguardian guard.
Well, that's part of it. Yes. So with the Pickguardian guard and
Brandon won't pick up.
I'm getting there. Cripes. and Brandon went on pickups. And do I list all the parts or just your
I
parts?
think you should list all
Okay.
parts.
Geez, all parts, right? Anyways, so I've got it and I love it and it's fantastic and I'm just super duper excited about it. So
He seems to be pretty excited about it.
That's a really great neck, man.
yeah, then it playability, the weight is outstanding. Chase did an amazing job on the paint,
Absolutely.
and the setup and everything. It's a dream guitar. I love it. So thank you all for helping out with that. And I will save the next one for next time because it is super doopy.
It's a nail biter.
Yeah. Anyways,
1, 2, 3.
4 on the floor.
all right, Nick Frank, give us your business.
All right, coming at you. Number 1 on my list. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Union Tube and Transistor. They're in Vancouver, so fellow Canadians.
Cool.
They have this pedal called the Moore, so it's just like a really high quality, lush, full overdrive.
Okay.
And a really talented guitar maker here with us, and also a killer shredder. Turned us on to these, and it's just an absolute must-have.
I'm sure you've tried a lot of overdrives in the past. What's kind of special about that one?
It's sort of just one of those pedals that you just always leave on. And before, like Tim had this clone DOD that was pretty rad. But this sort of just blew it out of the water. Yeah, I don't know. It's just everything just sounds really good through it, basically.
Cool.
I've always been sort of a direct to amp, natural overdrive kind of guy. But I just really dig this pedal.
Okay. What do you got for number 2?
Yeah. All right, number 2. So older brother John, he just picked up the Stomp Underfoot Ram's Head. Never being one for fuzz, I was a little, I don't know. But I think I'm going to have to get this thing on permanent loan from him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a really cool fuzz pedal. This is like, pedals are supposed to be fun, and this is just a lot of fun.
With that particular pedal, are you doing it like at a super Velcro-y or kind of woolly, warm fuzz or?
I would put it more in the warmer camp. Like Tim and John are much more like they got the licks. I'm more of a rhythm player, so I don't step on them too much.
Cool. Okay. What do you got for number 3?
All right, number 3, the Boss DD3. So
All right.
just touch a slap back,
Right.
and never does you wrong.
Right.
Like this one's just been kicking around our mom's house for like 15 years. It's just like it gets passed around between everybody, and you just nothing wrong with a little touch of delay, right?
Yeah. No, I like a little slap back myself. I've mentioned that.
Yeah,
before.
just kind of like the Moore pedal. It's just like you kind of just leave her on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then number 4, this one we don't have yet, but I'm pretty excited to get it. And it's
Okay.
just a JHS Mini AB. And for us at the shop, it's just, this is something that we've been dying to have, is just a way to AB 2 guitars
Sure.
back to back, really, really smooth. And you can do it with 2 amps as well. And we've got a selection of amps in the shop for when people swing by and they want to try some guitars. So I'm just pretty excited to be able to have that seamless transition. And we also like to provide some tasting notes with the guitars that we build. So just like our sort of our read on them, and it'll be nice to suss out those subtle differences between 2 guitars. Like a spruce top versus a maple top.
Oh, I
versus
get
a
you.
mahogany top.
We were all like sort of looking at each other like tasting notes. What?
Yeah, I know. I haven't thought of a better way of
No,
describing
that's great.
it.
That makes total sense
But-
now.
There's so much subtlety
Right.
in a guitar.
So if you have 2
And-
of your signature models, one's got a rosewood neck and the other one's got a maple neck, or what? I'm just spitballing here.
Sure,
but
yeah.
Then you can actually maybe hear the differences between the 2, besides being radically different guitars.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're pretty familiar with the way that with the sort of tonality of the guitars.
Yeah.
But it's also it would be really nice to be able to just bounce them back really quick.
Yeah,
seamlessly.
for sure.
So I'm pretty,
well,
pretty
that's the
excited to
first
get
time
that.
someone's done an AB box. But hey,
Yeah.
that makes total sense, man. I completely understand that. Cool. That's a tidy little pedal board there, or 4 on the floor, I should say, because that's what we call it, the 4 on the floor. That's a tidy little 4 on the floor.
What is it?
That's a 4 on the floor.
How many?
It's like a simple disco song.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you make guitars, and that's what we are here to talk to you about. For those who are not totally familiar with the Frank Brothers guitars, make sure that you head over to Instagram and or their website, Frank Brothers Guitars, and check them out. Unless, of course, you are either incapacitated in some way or shouldn't be using a phone.
Or if you've lost internet connection.
Or if you've lost internet connection, any of those things. Okay, or flying a drone. So I found you. I'm sure how most people find you these days. Via Instagram. It's pretty much the channel of our guitar world. I was extremely intrigued, as I'm sure you're used to hearing, the shape. The shape really caught my attention, and as I dug further into it, I realized that was the shape. And you are one of the few guitar builders that has really stuck to, well, this is the shape we're doing, and we're going to make variations on it and make it yours, but we're not going to just create a giant range of guitars. Fair to say?
Yes, very.
Okay. Well, let's dig into how you got into doing this in the first place. And by the way, for those who are listening, we're not ignoring Tim. Unfortunately, Tim had to drop off. We're running a split signal from a couple different places across the Great Plains of North America right now, and his smoke signal was not strong enough. So we hope to talk to him at some other point in time, but Nick is going to carry on with the interview with us. So we have Nick Bro, number one, or what are you in the order of the brothers, by the way?
I'm the middle child.
He's the middle child. All right. Well,
Yeah.
Nick and Tim, twins, separated today. All right. So walk us through how you kind of got interested in guitars and music in general.
Sure. We've always sort of jammed the three brothers. I'm more of a bass player, like in the live situation. So Tim and John were the guitar players of the group, but we grew up in a household that was just sort of music was a big focus, and our dad was a recording engineer in music, and our grandfather, his dad, was a concert violinist. And so there was sort of just that in the atmosphere for us. And that kind of just put us on this musical path, I guess you would say. And so we all picked up instruments at a pretty young age and just got really into it, as like young people do. They just get sort of obsessed, right?
Totally.
So that was pretty much it for us.
Who are you listening to that really kind of? It's one thing to have instruments laying around, and it's another thing to have some talent. But there's usually some like portal that you fall through that makes you go like, okay, I gotta do this, man.
Yes, yeah, and for us, I guess road tripping and stuff like that. My mom always just had
Rush. Please say Rush.
Well, as every good Canadian
Neil
should.
Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. For us, it was my mom was all about Motown, Beatles, James Taylor, Neil Young, that sort of stuff.
Sure.
All good.
So,
How about
Yeah,
Bryan
exactly.
Adams?
Okay,
Oh, well,
he's just going to list off all the Canadians, so we're just going to stop it right there. Okay, so cool. So you're taking family trips, and they're not making you listen to boring old people stuff, which is really cool.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Which was nice.
Yeah.
And I'm still into that stuff today. So it was
Yeah.
a good base for us.
Was there somebody that you locked onto that you particularly enjoyed or sort of wanted to model yourself after?
Like in terms of music?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I took that journey like a lot of people did, which was like classic rock. So started with like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. That was sort of like a little bit rebellious, I guess, because it's not, folk or
Right.
Like early soul. But from there, I always still loved that stuff, and then I got like into the Grateful Dead and some jam band stuff, but I feel like these days I'm pretty into what people are doing now. So like I wouldn't call it modern music, but current music.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it's like all that stuff is you always have that as the fallback to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, when in doubt, like pop some Petty in or something, and just
Of course, yeah.
you'll win, or the Beatles or the Stones.
Yeah, we've been really into like Ry Cooder. We just went and saw him live at Massey Hall, which is a great venue here in Toronto.
Right.
And I know that Tim takes a lot of influence in his playing from that.
Nice. We'll trust you that Tim would have said that. Poor Tim. Cool. So you got your early kicks doing some, I guess what you could call classic rock. Classic rock is a sort of a loaded term now, because for the longest time it basically meant sort of like the sort of straight ahead semi harder rock stuff, but really it applies to just about anything 70s and 60s, but like at all now. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I feel like now on like a classic rock station you hear like Green Day.
Yeah,
It's
like
that is.
I was
20
going to
years
say
old.
something, but I'm glad you did. But that's true. It's now 80s and 90s as well.
Yeah,
it totally is.
That's
I mean,
weird.
like I love REM, and now you're starting to hear them on classic rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is a weird thing, though, because, and then I realize that this is not the Classic Rock podcast, but I feel like the ones that have stayed out of that for some reason is like basically everybody that fell into the sort of the new wave realm, where it's like that's still its own channel. And it's interesting how they've managed to do that. Like you're not hearing like Blondie in the Cars and stuff, and in typical classic rock. It's still kind of lumped into, the wave stuff, but
First wave.
Yes. Anyways.
Yeah. Early Robert Palmer versus later Robert Palmer.
Right. Okay. So anyways, abandoning that rabbit hole, we're going to get back on track with how you get into guitar stuff. So you have your father who is heavy into recording in the industry. You have, I'm sure, instruments laying around. You're listening to all kinds of music. What's the next step?
The next step was for us just like the actual instruments themselves. So just like I inherited my dad's old P bass, which was cool. Sweet. It's like it's a 72 Ash P bass, and it came with Bartolini pickups.
That's awesome.
I don't know who swapped them out. But I always thought that kind of just like caught my eye. I was like, that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you still have it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's killer.
Yeah. And I guess that got me curious about custom or customization. Then also, Tim, what really got us started, I guess, in the guitar, like, meddling side of things,
mm-hmm.
I'll call it meddling at that stage,
mm-hmm.
was Tim had this Strat, and somebody had stripped the truss rod on it, and so he had to replace the neck, and decided to just do it himself, and so that sort of sent him down the repair side of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So he, when you say he went down the repair path, I'm assuming he started doing others.
Yeah. So that sort of kicked off our interest in fixing guitars. And we did a lot of setup at that stage. So we would set up our own instruments, or like I fretted like a Yamaha bass and filled the fret slots with epoxy, and then I had a fretless, which worked pretty good. Then I decided to strip the finish on it, and it was like a 1/4 inch thick poly finish. And it took me the entire summer.
There it is.
And I abandoned it.
Now, was that inspired by Jocko or?
Jacko pasta sauce, yeah.
Yeah, Jacko pasta sauce.
Yeah, I was huge into that. Huge into fusion for a while. And so is Tim. And so also like we saw these old like tellies that, like the 70s, people just started messing with their tellies.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that kind of got us interested in all that stuff.
Cool.
Dominic Troiano. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a Canadian guitar player. He played with the Guess Who. He has had this like totally rad telly. And we saw it first because our dad recorded with the Guess Who out of Nimbus 9 in Yorkville in Toronto.
Oh.
And so we were rummaging through some old photos and saw it, and it really like caught our eye. You can Google him, Dominic Troiano. It's kind of like a kooky telly.
What was kooky about it?
He just had, I haven't looked at it in ages, but I think it's just like loads of pickups and switches.
Was he an original member?
No, I believe he was not an original member.
Yeah, lots of switches will do it. We were recently, so in Nashville, we were in a guitar shop, a Rumble Seat guitars, and there was a Les Paul there that Jared locked onto that had, I don't know what, like 6 extra toggle switches on the front.
Yeah.
And it was bananas, but it was just, for whatever reason, we all like switches. We just got to cop to it.
Yeah.
Switches is good. Okay, so now this is, I'm assuming this is maybe your teens that you guys are doing this?
Yeah, teens into university.
Okay.
And that's when we started getting into actual guitar building from there. So we started doing, you start fixing your own instruments, and then your friends hear that you can do that, and then they start getting you to fix their instruments and stuff like that. So we went through all that, which was a lot of fun. We gained a lot of knowledge from that. And from there we were like, it would be sweet to build our own guitar. And we acquired some lumber from our old friend Warren, who owns a lumber company, and we actually are partners with him, and we source all our lumber through his company.
Nice.
And so he hooked us up with the first bits of wood to make a telly. And we were like, we're going to make it from scratch. We're going to make it amazing. Everyone told us it would be a piece of junk, but we were like, no, this is going to be the best guitar ever. It was okay. It didn't last too long. We tore it apart for the parts. A little bit after finishing it, but
so you guys took on a neck by your you just went and made your own neck like straight away.
Went for it.
Wow,
yeah. We got a pre-slotted fretboard, and that was about it.
Okay.
We actually used a telly, like an actual telly body, to make a template.
Huh.
So we just took all the parts off of it and just used that as a copywriting template for a piece of MDF. And from there we had our telly template.
Interesting.
And then the neck, we just, did measurements, and
you got a nod of approval from Tony.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
that's what you do.
Sometimes it's easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, you end up damaging sometimes. We
wrapped it in green tape, so it was
okay.
It was like a 5 thou bigger than a real telly, but I'm sure we sanded all of that off.
Oh
sure.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, so we had access to this workshop on the Toronto Island. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with Toronto. Sometimes you see it if you fly in. There's an island on the south of the mainland.
Oh, okay.
And we had we had lots of friends that grew up on the island, and we used to teach canoe lessons at the Island Canoe Club, and so they had a little wood shop in the back, and they let us use that, and they had a bandsaw and a router, and
this is starting to sound like an old Disney movie.
It was charming. Yeah.
Sorry.
There was I don't think there was an evil antagonist in the story, but maybe I can write that in.
Yeah, some old ne'er-do-well gentleman.
You kids, stop playing with those power tools.
Yeah.
I think we did get yelled at for like using the router at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
We were all about the all-nighters.
sure, sure.
It sounds like a garage where the A team can build a super vehicle to bust out of it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Off the island. Okay, so you got your telly template and you got your first guitar together. You're moving forward. What happens next?
Well, we got a little shared studio in Toronto's sort of West End, and it was actually a sculpture studio, and they had some woodworking tools, and we had probably like 90 square feet inside of this shop where we each had a bench, and we worked sort of back to back, and that's when we started building. We built a few other tellies out of old like wharf wood, which we called wharf casters.
Oh, that's
basically
cool.
they started pulling up. They started tearing down parts of Toronto and then putting big holes in the ground to build condos. So they'd be like digging up for the foundation, and they would find old wharfs and docks, and they actually even found a whole ship, because Toronto's south shore is all landfill essentially. They just sort of kept filling it in and putting the shore further out. So as they started digging up some of the stuff, they found some of the old infrastructure there.
Wow.
So we would build these guitars out of old pine, which were really cool. There's got to be some kicking around. Somebody brought one by our shop actually not that long ago. They're good guitars. So that we had a lot of fun with that. But then we started developing our own designs, or our own design, and that really got us excited. So that sort of really got the gears going on
So how did you
really cool.
How did you come up with the particular design? I mean, was it trial and error? Did you have kind of things in between?
We had one prototype that was different than the current shape. So Tim actually designed the body, and I designed the headstock. And from there, we did a full. Tim's really good with the pencil drawings. So he, on graph paper and full size, drew it out, and then together we tweaked it and refined the shapes. But the first one looks like a caricature of our current guitar shape. It's really funky, but it's just like we looked at it and we were like, yes, it's cool, but I wish we could, maybe make it less offset, because the guitar it's subtle, but it is an offset, and it's a reverse. So like the lower horn is actually further out than the upper horn. And this one, the first one, was way more so. Like it was way reversed.
Right. So it probably looked a bit like one of them old Japanese models of something.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that was fully our influence. We were really into those at the time. The old catalog guitars and the Japanese and Italian stuff.
Yeah.
Like loved Echo.
Oh,
and
Echoes are cool.
Cade and
Funky.
Harmony and Tysco. So that totally was the inspiration. But we did want to make it refined. Like we really like, clean design, subtlety, quality craftsmanship and stuff. So we wanted to impart all of that into what we were doing. That's what really got us excited. Besides the design, was making it actually a really good functioning guitar.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
You do have you've managed to do something that is unique. I mean, if you're looking at a silhouette, I mean, that is a unique shape, and also managing to keep it tasteful and clean. Where, like, I think it sounded like you were saying it started out a little bit more radical, but I mean, there's a lot of other decisions to make besides the shape of a guitar. So help us get through some of that. Where where were you drawing inspiration from once you got past the shape?
I mean, we did want to make it sort of fall more into the classic, the really venerable guitars of the sort of early era of electric guitar. So we wanted to make it a really high quality sounding instrument. So that's when we started using genuine mahogany for the body and neck, maple for the top. That's when we decided to do the arching. So the guitar actually has an arch on the top and back.
That's something you've been making people aware of at great lengths as of late. It seems like, I think in the last couple posts, it's like they're arched. They're arched.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of work to make it that way. So.
Yeah.
It's hard to photograph, and we've been getting better at that, trying to photograph it. So as soon as we got photos of it, we were like, oh, this looks like we should show this off.
Yeah,
make people aware of it.
Well, it's funny because I think that's one of the things.
Yeah, it's hard to when you shoot it face on, but the whole idea, like our design philosophy, was subtlety. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to build something that was really dynamic, and something that when you picked it up, and you discover new things every time, sort of. So it's not heavily recurved, but there's a significant arch to the top and back, and I think that although it's hard to photograph, it's something that when you're holding the guitar, you can really appreciate, and it actually makes the guitar a little more comfortable. I sort of contours it to your body, especially because the back is arched, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of this mix between your classic solid body that has an arched top, and your actual jazz box that has both arched top and arched back.
So is it? Let me understand if I'm getting this correct. Is it actually an arched back, or is it a concave back?
Arched. So
okay, so it's bulging both ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
It's convex on both sides.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I was like, when I first saw that post, I was like, wait, that's cool. They did a concave on the back. That's kind of wild. Nobody's doing that.
That's for the beer drinkers,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Redefine belly cut.
Yeah, true belly cut.
Yeah,
form fit. So one thing I noticed, and I'd kind of like to see what experimentation went into it on the trapeze tailpiece that you're using, or it looks like it's a proprietary one. Some would say it's going in the wrong direction, but basically, so the treble strings are longer. Generally, you see it go the opposite direction. So I was curious as to if you experimented with it, flipped around the other way, or did a straight one and didn't like that, or.
It actually, if you look at the guitar as a whole, it sort of harkens or mimics, in a sense, in a way, the headstock shape.
Okay.
So aesthetically, that was what we were trying to tie into, but without being, but still being subtle about it, right?
Oh, that makes sense.
So that, I don't know if you noticed that top, the bar where the strings go in, sort of visually replicates the top of the headstock.
Yeah.
And then we just liked the way that it felt. It makes the guitar feel a little slinkier. Gives it a nice slackness to it, and those treble strings, especially, which we just liked the feel of.
Yeah.
You know what it kind of reminds me of is, so I was exposed to, for some reason, I feel like California's got just a much richer car culture out there. I mean, that's kind of a fact, but hot rod culture is huge out there. It's massive. Right. And there was, I think, specifically a several years where it seemed like people were kind of stepping away from like classic hot rod with all the chrome and all the bits and blah, 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 and kind of like taking that down to a more minimal look, and incorporating like, billeted aluminum and shaving things off and stuff. And it's for some reason, especially when I look at your trapeze piece, that's the feeling I get. Like there's something that's definitely familiar and referencing old design, but with new interpretations of that, slightly new shapes, slightly new curves, slightly new materials, but not to the point where it's like super modern.
Right. That's awesome that that's the feeling it gets. Because that's sort of what we were trying to go for, is that, again, subtlety and sort of like a reverence for that era of guitar design.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it could have been like late 60s, like kind of when all the space stuff was going bonkers. Or today. And it's kind of sitting right in the middle of that. There's almost a like a Danish furniture quality to it, which, Danish furniture is so based around clean lines and harmony and shapes and stuff, and like those little subtleties. I dig that personally.
Cool.
Yeah.
Some would say timeless.
Some might say timeless. So most people that are making guitars tend to say, all right, I'm going to make this kind of guitar and this kind of, they usually have a couple of shapes going on. And you came out with the one shape with sort of the bells and whistles, and you have a slightly stripped down version of that shape, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that is, how's that worked for you?
I mean, it's been working pretty well for us because, there's nothing really out there quite like it. So our big focus has been to take this and use it as a platform for customization, and it's been a great platform for that. So we found that we can do a lot with this, and then offering it as a semi-hollow, which is the signature model, and the arcade, which is the solid body. That gives us a lot of range and sort of tonality. And so what we've been really focused on is customization, creating a really great customer experience for people, and working with them to let them sort of a la carte decide how they want their Frank Brothers guitar to be.
Right. Well, most people probably wouldn't know that your signature model is a hollow body, at least by first glance, because it doesn't have the classic sound holes.
Yeah, and actually, we just started offering that as an option, and we posted it on Instagram just sometime last week, and so we've already got one on the go.
That's cool.
So it's going to be so we're calling that our ultralight. So the signature model, which is the semi-hollow, is chambered on the treble side pretty much fully. So it's still got the center block, and then on the bass side, it's got what we call sort of finger chambers. So they're just sort of half-inch wide chambers that vary in length, and they go diagonally.
Right.
On the bass side of the body. And they go less than halfway deep. And then on the other side, we do the exact same chambers, but reverse. So you have kind of this gridlock.
That's
pattern.
crazy.
Yeah, we experimented with it a bunch, and partly it was to help balance the guitar, because it does sort of balance a little more like an SG. So the neck is kicked out a touch more, but the balance between the body and the neck is a really important thing for us. So we were able to sort of work with that chambering pattern to help balance it. And then it also has a really cool sonic, it imparts this really cool tonality to it. So it's like, it does have a really 335-y sound, which is kind of bizarre. It freaks people out, but it's not as woofy.
Gotcha.
So we're really excited to hear what the ultralight, which is going to be the model with the F hole, and is more heavily hollowed. But
you went with kind of a traditional F hole on that, right?
Yeah, and I mean we're fully like we're like a real custom shop, so we have the capacity to do pretty much anything in terms of using this guitar as the platform.
Right.
So if somebody wants a segmented F hole or a diamond shaped F hole,
right?
So the sky's the limit. We can
or
do that
flames.
Sort of no, that's where I draw the line.
No, and I should say it is a tastefully Frank-ish F hole. It's not a classic heavy scroll F hole. It's a very it fits with the guitar.
It's like it's kind of got the 335 vibe, but it's a little more slender and longer.
Yes.
Was sort of the idea. So
earlier when I asked you how's that working for you, I hope that didn't come off as like, well, how's that working for you? I was like, I didn't mean that, but where I was trying to go was, or let the conversation go, was that has that cornered you in any way to the point where, like, when someone does something for a long time, right? And that's the kind of thing that they do. And all of a sudden they say, we're going to do something new. Sometimes that's not very well received, especially by the purists who have now gone for your brand like full on. So I'm just curious if you've had that effect, or seen that effect at all.
I don't know. I mean, not noticeably. No, I mean, people are really enthusiastic and excited about the design. And I think, if down the line we were to offer something else, we would, we're the designers, so we would try to impart that Frank Brothers style onto it. We've got our bow tie headstock, and we'd probably continue that on.
It is a handsome headstock.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure. Have you? So what other? Can we assume that you have kicked around other shapes as of late, or is this kind of where you guys are just going to stick around?
That. I mean, we've just gotten we've got our sort of hands full. We're really busy with the arcade and signature model, and now the ultralight. So that's been our focus, and the focus is really do one thing and do it right. So we've in quality and customization. So there's still a lot that we can do with this, and we're still staying busy with these models. Cool.
Well, that's a good philosophy to have. I mean, I can certainly appreciate that. Tony's nodding his head emphatically.
How about in terms of pickups? What's your brand of choice, or do you have several that you can pop in there?
Oh yeah, we initially focused on humbuckers, and we loaded a lot of El Rayos into them, which was like a Lawler pickup.
Yeah,
and it's a really funky pickup. It's kind of borderline Filtertron / Tele single coil. It's I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with those, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so it gelled well, it vibed well with our guitar, and that's when we were really only doing the signature model, the semi-hollow. So a lot of people opted for that, but we talk a lot with our customers, and a lot of people have their own ideas about what they want. So, we always have a conversation about that, or some people would like to sort of hear more of our opinion about what they want, or some people come in and they know exactly what they want. So we've put lots of different manufacturers pickups in. We're doing some Lawler antiquity, some Seymour Duncan antiquities in an upcoming guitar, which I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be a humbucker, a mini humbucker. And then we're doing P90s. We've got a guitar coming up with gold foils.
Oh, that'll look nice.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a piano black top and back with a Cremona burst sides and neck, kind of like the one we built for James Bay.
Nice.
And that's but it's gonna have the gold foils, which is gonna be splashy.
Cool. Have you tried the
gold hardware on it?
The Imperials, Lawler Imperials?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what
Imperials?
Yeah. So that's probably your humbucker of go-to of choice, or is it kind of your standard?
It changes, varies with the customer.
Okay.
And we try to provide tasting notes if somebody's if somebody doesn't know exactly what they want yet. We'll provide them with some tasting notes on like what the experiences we've had with each different type of pickup that we've used.
Does that come with a cheese board?
Yeah.
You better circle R that tasting note thing there.
Already done. I just got in touch with the trademark office.
Yes, I understand where you're going with what the customer wants. However, as a pickup builder myself, I have at least 3 or 4 actual custom guitars built for myself, and I wanted the builder to use what they recommended. Even
right.
Well, that's an interesting point.
It is, because I want what the builder, what their vision is, what they think is awesome for their guitar. Now, I do have one custom guitar that I did build the pickups for, but I think it's special when you buy a custom guitar and that that it's mostly the builder's idea,
Totally. And I would say that probably like 75+% of them had the El Reyos in them, because that really did the trick for us. So that actually is more probably the go-to humbucker for us.
I would just want to touch on a point that Jared brought up, which I think we're usually pretty aware of, but I just want to reiterate the fact that, like, you mentioned that it was special to get something that the builder kind of put their, kind of work into. And that is what this is all about.
Sure.
And like, let's not forget, like, we're talking to a guitar builder who has designed a guitar from the ground up, spent countless amount of hours to try to create the most optimum product that they could come up with. And when you are buying a guitar like this, you are getting every ounce of that. You're not just walking into some random shop in some random city, getting some random guitar that you have no idea who built that.
Right.
And that's the thing that we like to focus on. So I just don't want to lose sight of that. Good point, Jared.
Thank you.
And you guys could probably agree, like the guitar itself imparts a ton of tonality and the playability of it as well on the guitar. And so, and we just want the process to be fun for people, and we want them to really get what they're really after. So that's where the conversation sort of comes in about what are you playing, what so like it's consultation in a sense.
Yeah,
sure.
What do we want to achieve with this guitar?
Totally. What kind of fretboard wood are you using these days? Are you affected at all by rosewood situations?
No, because we early on fell in love with Macassar ebony. So we didn't build the very first one that I was telling you guys about that was a caricature of what the current design is, had a rosewood board. But we really fell in love with Macassar ebony. Tonally, it's a great wood. It's a really nice density. You get a ton of variety in terms of color. So you can get all like jet black almost, all the way up to really nice light oranges and blondes in it. And so that's been our go-to fretboard wood, and it's not affected by CITES. It's not an endangered wood species.
So anybody around the world can go buy your guitars without any hassle, is what you're saying.
You got it. Yeah.
Perfect.
We've got all the documentation for it too.
I like that.
Pretty smart.
All our materials.
Yeah.
Where are you sourcing most of your wood from? I mean,
So we work with a company called Upper Canada Forest Products really closely to source the materials. So we end up dealing with them and sometimes directly with the sawyers, and they've got a really big focus on sustainability and ethically sourcing materials. So community forests and things like that. So we can feel really good about the material that we're getting and using. Plus, it's really high quality stuff.
yeah, I mean, I seem to remember like companies like Godin and some of the other, that whole conglomerate.
Yeah.
They get a lot of their wood from the Canadian government. I think as they're clearing things. So I think
cool.
their wood sources. I mean, a lot of it is from Canada. That's why you see a lot of the made out of cherry or a lot of maple. Obviously,
well, that's what my neck on my Fifth Avenue King was. Man, I love that neck. Woo, doggies.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. There's there's just something really, I think, special about this guitar that you guys have come up with, and then it's sort of unfolded into a couple other versions. But it's a really a lovely piece to look at, and I'm sure it's a crap ton of fun to play. What's the? I guess, is there an overall tonality? If we're talking about tonal notes or tone notes, Is it tasting notes? Boy, I better get this right. I'm gonna copyright all three of those.
He's already.
Yeah, with those tasting notes, a lot of people will say, "Oh, a Les Paul sounds warm, a Telly sounds spanky or bright." What do you think about yours? How would you characterize yours?
Well, I mean, we can go sort of both ways with it. We've done really spanky guitars that can sort of hit the Telly mark, and we've done. We did a custom guitar for. I don't know if you guys know him on Instagram, Lost in Crystal Canyons.
Wait, Wait, how do I know that? Lost in Crystal Canyons. Yes,
because you're on
He
Instagram.
takes amazing photos of
yes,
guitars.
no, I know that. Yes, I know that for sure. Because I'm always gotcha.
Yeah, we did a custom guitar for him. You can see it on our website. It's the one that's just fully torted out. It's covered in tortoiseshell, and it's our Trillium white color. It's an arcade, and we did it with this trapeze, like 50s trapeze tailpiece, and it is he calls it the Beast. I'm pretty sure it was a monster. So it was like full on rock and roll machine. So there's a lot of versatility within our range, even though, you've just got one sort of, body shape. We found that we can do a lot with it. But one thing that about the construction of the guitar, the arching on the top and back, it gives you a really slim, side, like profile
right
in the body,
Yeah.
but you've got a ton of mass in line with the strings in the center of the guitar. It's like over 2 inches thick in the center, right?
Right.
So that all in line with the neck, we've got a really big neck joint that it's really tall. So you can see if you're looking at the heel of our guitar, we call it the blended heel. So it's a set neck, but it's really a deep, tall neck joint. So you've got a lot of mass connectivity there, I guess you could say.
Sure.
So that imparts a lot of sort of character into the guitar, we find. You get a ton of sustain with these.
Well, referencing the Lost in Crystal Canyons, people who are listening to this, definitely go check out that Instagram. This is just gorgeous guitar shots, and specifically the one that you're talking about, the white with the tort, is that is a mighty fine looking guitar right there. And I like the aged nickel all over that. That's really cool.
Yeah, we were pretty stoked on that.
That's awesome.
That was a lot of fun.
Well done, Lost in Crystal Canyons.
Yeah, what a cool guy.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, hey, I sure do appreciate you sharing your story with us in this room and all of our listeners. I hope everybody out there is appreciated it as well. If you haven't by now gone to check it out, make sure you check out Frank Brothers Guitars on the internet and especially on Instagram, because they are really gorgeous, and I like their build philosophy, and just sort of making sure they're taking care of the wood and ethically building these things is pretty solid stuff. So we are going to transition into
Would You Rather?
All right, very nice, Jared.
All right. This episode's Would You Rather is going to be about binding today, gentlemen.
Yes.
So you're ordering a Telecaster guitar from place that you order it from, and
where would that be?
Yeah.
a place where you order it from. So,
An ordering place.
would you rather have tortoiseshell binding,
Kind of tortoiseshell binding.
the kind of tortoiseshell binding that is tortoiseshell?
Well, are we talking classic tortoiseshell? We're talking inky yellow,
Let's
black and
let's
yellow.
say inky yellow.
Like leopardy?
Leopard.
inky black and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Or would you rather have sparkle binding?
What color sparkle?
Whatever.
Gold.
Yeah.
What color is the guitar?
White.
White? Oh, dang it. You guys have got me in there.
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah.
All right. Okay.
Two viable choices.
Tony.
Now, this is on a Telecaster, mind you.
I know
Yes.
it's on Telecaster.
Tony,
All right.
go.
Wow, ordinarily, I'd probably go with the leopard, but since it is a white guitar,
Yeah, here
I
we
would go with the gold glitter
Someone
binding.
likes the penguin.
I like me a penguin.
Okay.
But no, I think that would look really cool with the gold glitter binding.
Yeah.
I mean, the spotted tortoise would look great on white too. But
Yeah. Is that what we would technically call it? Spotted tortoise?
leopards, people usually call it leopard tortoise.
Okay, leopard tortoise. What's that? Is that
I
a
mean,
thing?
it was the pick guard was, that on that white.
Well, yeah, like the one that we just actually saw. It was,
Yeah.
But that was a little bit more amber.
Yeah, but that's
it gives you an
splotchy.
idea
Yeah,
of what it would look
splotchy,
like. Totally.
inky.
Splotchy, inky.
Yeah. Let's see, Jared. What are you choosing?
You're not going to believe this. I'm going to go with the tortoise show.
Wow.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic for you.
I
Jared
have
is a
enough
sparkle lover.
sparkles. That's
Actually,
true.
so am I.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sparkly.
Yeah.
What's not
So you're going to
bad
tortoise.
about that?
You're taking tortoise.
good about that? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to do because I don't have that right now.
That's true.
I'll take the tortoise thing.
All right. Nick, what are you doing?
I'm gonna have to side with Jared on this one.
Thank
I'm
you.
a tortoise lover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
And brown and white just look so good together.
How do
Don't
the
get that
tortoises feel
70s
about
vibe.
that?
Yeah, totally.
No
Yeah.
tortoise is harmed in the making.
boy, it's really hard to find a guitar-shaped tortoise these days. Hey,
What are you doing, Todd? Because I have no clue what
Try
you're
the
gonna
veal.
do.
I'll be here all week.
yeah, you know what? I gotta go tortoise as well on this one for sure.
Wow.
I like the inky
glitter.
tortoise especially. I really do. I think it's cool, man.
What do you
I
think
would
your-
love to do a guitar with inky tortoise stuff on it.
Okay.
What?
I've got some inky tortoise.
Okay,
What color are you going to have the body, though?
you said it was white.
It's white. It's a
Well, it
white
has
body.
to be white. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
What would your
This
brother
is
want?
your segment, man.
What would your
Tim?
brother? What would Tim want?
Well, I feel like he would. I know what's best, so I'll just.
Nah. I call the
divulge
shots
to
around
the-
here.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to take care of a couple things here. First and foremost, I want to give the floor to our good friend, Nick Frank. He's got something to say.
Well, thanks for having us on the show, and thanks for listening to me blather on. I'm talking to the people in podcast land. So as a thank you, we wanted to offer everyone 10% off of our in-stock guitars and our ready to customize instruments. So if you go to our website to the shop section, we've got some in-stock ready to ship guitars, and we've got some guitars that are finished, but you can choose your own hardware,
Oh, man.
which is a lot of fun.
Nice.
Then, or if you wanted to do the custom route, which we're all about, we are going to offer 25% off on any of our custom options on a new custom build.
Wow.
So if you go to our website and click guitars, you'll find our arcade signature model, and within those, you can download a options sheet, and on the second page lists all the custom options. So there's the first sheet has a standard option, and then the second sheet has all the custom options that we offer. So we would offer 25% off on any of those.
That is
And that's,
bonkers.
That's until November 30th. So if they message us or they
The audience.
they the audience, or what person am I speaking in now? Just let us know that the Guitar Knob sent you.
Perfect. So, keyword guitar knobs. Go get
got
yourself
it.
a Frank Brothers guitar. Save yourself a lot of cash. 10% off of these guitars. That's a significant savings. 25% off is more than double significant savings.
Yes.
I'm good at math.
And there's a lot of fun custom options. So
That's
gonna have-
killer. That's a slamming
Go to
deal.
town.
That is very generous. Thank you so much. I appreciate you offering that to our audience. We care a lot about them. We interact with them regularly, and
totally.
it just thrills me to death that you were willing to do that. So, everybody, make sure, get out there, go check out these guitars. Speaking of our audience, Tony,
Yes. What would you like me to speak about?
Would you give us the rundown, the brief rundown?
The brief rundown
of
you don't want my expanded version?
No,
not this time.
I just don't want to spend an hour editing it. So how about giving us the brief
I noticed that
rundown?
in listening, I hear a lot of cuts in my segment.
Well,
and I'm wondering why that is. Is there someone can I talk to your supervisor?
Yeah. So we got a lot of people to thank.
We do. This part of the show, we like to thank our executive producers. And our executive producers have gone to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs, and they have signed up and have committed to $10 a month, which helps offset a lot of our costs to bring you this.
Big time.
We really appreciate that. We really appreciate all of our patrons on Patreon.
1 and 5 entry as well.
And you get some really cool stuff. I just saw another posting. Somebody got their T-shirt and their package and everything. Yep. And best swag pack ever, I think, was the. I like
to think so.
Yeah.
Let's run that. So real quick, you're going to get a T-shirt. You're going to get a barefoot button with our logo on it. It's bright orange. You can't miss it on your pedal board.
Yes.
You're going to get a big fat packet of stickers and picks and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
And that's a lot. I'd say
it's a lot. And it's great. We appreciate it, and you'll appreciate the package you get. So without further ado, I would like to welcome 2, not 1, but 2.
Please do it.
New executive producers.
And guess what? If you're an executive producer,
what happens?
You get to have your name read on the thing, man.
Which is what we're going to do right now. Read it, Tony.
Okay, welcome aboard, Doug Gann and Earl Flowers, our 2 newest Patreons.
Yes, not together in any way. They're separate people.
Separate
entities.
Yes.
Just,
number 1, number 2.
I'm just clarifying.
And you join a list of
fine
the elite of podcast supporters.
Yes.
That would include Tom Barazin, Martin Cliff, David Wolfson, Matt Brammer, Carlos Mancha, Pete Marshall, Derek Fitzer, Robin Smith, John Daly, Oliver Gonzalez, Sean S. Chris Kearney, John Anglin, Robert Marfleet, Darren Gregory, Gary Goodman, and Son Beckett, Zach J. Wright, and Doug Christ.
Yes.
Oh, and Michael Van Zant.
That's right. Hey, thank you guys so much for your support. We greatly appreciate it.
Couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, it really, I can't stress how much that really does help us out. So, Tony, where can people find you?
Well, for custom pick guards and all sorts of fun plastic bits and pieces, you can go to pickguardian.com.
Mm-hmm.
/the guitar. No.
Just go to pickguardian.com.
Just go to pickguardian.com. You can also check out some of the things that I do, my various projects on the various social media.
Yep. Instagram, pickguardian1.
Pickguardian1.
That's right.
Jared, what about you?
Well, you can find me at brandonwoundpickups.com. I build custom wound pickups any way you want, or I do a lot of vintage style stuff. And I offer them an aged and new style, whatever you need. Please get a hold of me at jared@brandonwoundpickups.com, Jared, or you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all those places.
All the stuff. Those are killer pickups and killer pick guards, gentlemen. And finally, Nick, where can people find you?
You can catch us on social media at Frank_Brothers. So Instagram, we're out there.
I did.
That's Frank_Brothers. And then our website, frankbgc.com. Or you can also search frankbrothersguitars.com.
That's right.
Excellent. Todd, where can people find you?
Send me a message at todd@theguitarknobs.com. And, of course, hang out with us on Instagram and our Facebook group. Try to be as active as possible. So, everybody, let's give it Nick and Tim, although he's absent, the Frank brothers, a great big thank you for joining us, spending their valuable time to hang out and talk with us and share their story, and be looking for them out in the socials. Thank you so much, Nick. And
thank you, guys.
You
Much
bet.
Appreciate it.
Subscribe!
Yeah.
Are you going to flat
Flak jacket? What?
No. And that's what you're here to talk about us. Tony went for the door and
Words not coming together to.
Yeah.
Sounds like me, man.
I'm gonna try that again.
I'm gonna.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.